Welcome back to Edzy, your personal AI tutor, and to this extended revision episode on Class 9 English for CBSE Class 9, The Pot Maker from Kaderi. I'm Gaurav, and with me is Swati. This is a calm 30 to 60-minute study session, so there is no need to rush. Keep a notebook nearby if you have one, but you can also simply listen. Imagine Ria from Guwahati, who once felt that a chapter about pottery would be difficult. By the end, she could explain every major event. Today we'll cover the story, the pot making process, characters, themes, vocabulary, grammar, questions, and exam tips.
That is a comforting way to begin. Because this chapter is not only about making pots, it asks a bigger question. What happens when a young person's passion meets an elder's painful experience? As we revise, do not try to memorize isolated sentences. Listen for reasons, consequences, changes in relationships, and the meaning of the ending. I will keep asking you questions, and you should answer before we move ahead.
Our learning map is simple. First, we will understand Scintilla's dream and Erenla's concerns. Then, we will follow the actual stages of pot making, the village council's intervention, and Scintilla's long struggle. After that, we will examine Onola's guidance and the emotional climax. Finally, we will revise vocabulary, noun clauses, relative clauses, determiners, sequence questions, and answer writing points.
Let us begin with the word vocation. A vocation is skill based work or a profession that a person practices. Pot making and weaving are both vocations in this chapter. Before listening further, think of at least 5 other skill based vocations. Do not worry about giving a perfect answer. The important idea is that such work depends on trained hands, patience, and practice.
The opening activity also invites us to think about handmade and machine made products. The chapter does not give a long comparison, but its focus on pottery helps us notice the value of skilled human effort. Handmade work involves individual control, repeated practice, and careful attention to material. The pot emerges through the maker's hands. This prepares us to understand why pot making is connected with community history and identity.
So, if an exam asks what is common among the vocations, a sensible answer would mention skill based work and the effort required to create useful products. Avoid writing that all vocations are identical. They may use different tools and materials, but they involve knowledge and practice. एक second pause करके सोचो. Why does the chapter start with vocations before introducing Scintilla?
Scintilla begins dreaming of becoming a pot maker when she is old enough to accompany her mother to the fields and forests. Her dream is not sudden or borrowed from someone else. It grows from close observation of her mother and grandmother, who are connected with the craft. This makes pot making part of her family world and gives the dream emotional depth.
But Erenla wants Scintilla to become a weaver. We should be careful here. Erenla is not shown as someone who simply dislikes her daughter or wishes to destroy her dream. She has suffered through the physical demands of pottery and has received very little money for it. Her advice comes from worry, experience, and a desire for a more secure future for Scintilla.
Arenla explains that the grey and red clay is found at a riverbank 16 kilometers away. Reaching it involves climbing down a sheer drop, collecting a heavy load, and carrying it uphill to the village. The clay must then be pounded inside bamboo cylinders. These details show why the work causes physical exhaustion. The chapter makes Erenla's practical argument specific rather than vague.
Arilla also says that a batch of pots takes months of labor and brings only a few rupees. In contrast, she believes weaving can be done indoors in all seasons, takes less time for one shawl, and gives a handsome return. Notice that handsome here means substantial or generous, not physically attractive. This is a classic vocabulary trap, so keep the context in mind.
Arenla's experience creates the central tension of the chapter, passion versus practicality. Scintilla sees beauty and meaning in pot making, while Arenla sees strain, risk, time, and poor income. Neither side can be dismissed too quickly. A strong answer should acknowledge both perspectives and then explain how Scintilla's determination shapes the later events.
Quick check. Why does Centilla keep her fascination secret at home? Think before I answer. She has overheard Arella complaining about pot making and saying that she will not teach it to her. Centilla therefore understands that openly sharing her dream may lead to resistance. Her secrecy is not proof that she has lost interest. It shows how strongly she wants to continue learning.
On days when her parents go to the fields and she can remain at home, Centilla approaches expert potters. At first, they are amused by her insistence. They assume that she will outgrow what they consider a childish passion. Their assumption is important because the story later proves them wrong. Centilla's interest is not temporary. It survives difficulty, discouragement, and family conflict.
What does Centilla do during these visits? She watches and listens carefully. She notices the hands of the potters, the movement of the clay, the spatula, and the rhythm of shaping. The regular tap tap of the spatula sounds like music to her. This description reveals both her fascination and her ability to learn through close observation.
Her secret visits also show initiative. She does not wait passively for ideal circumstances. Even when formal teaching is unavailable, she finds a way to observe experts. However, observation alone will not immediately make her skilled. The next part of the chapter carefully explains the technical process, and that process helps us understand the amount of knowledge hidden inside an apparently ordinary pot.
Let us build the process in order. First, the grey and red clay is collected from the distant river bank. A dhow is used to dig it. The clay is loaded into a carrying basket and taken to the work shed. There, it is soaked in a trough. Then the right proportion is put into bamboo cylinders for pounding.
Pounding softens the stubborn clay and changes it into malleable dough. Malleable means capable of being shaped without breaking or cracking. This word is directly connected with craft. The material is not ready for shaping as soon as it is collected. It must first be prepared through effort, correct proportion, soaking, and repeated pounding.
Now think about the shaping stage. The potter pushes the left hand into the softened lump and rotates it carefully. At the same time, the right hand uses a spatula to give shape to the rotating clay. These two hands must work in coordination. The process is not simply pressing clay randomly. It requires rhythm, balance, control, and trained movement.
After 2 or 3 days, the pots receive a final touch-up. This helps retain the required shape and allows the potters to test consistency. Only then are the pots taken out to dry in the sun. The order matters. If a student writes only that clay is shaped and fired, the answer misses several important stages.
After drying, the pots are loaded into a kiln in a uniform pattern. They are placed on a bed of hay and dried bamboo and covered with another layer of the same materials. Finally, the kiln is fired. The fire must be tended carefully. Overfiring or underfiring can ruin the entire batch. So the potter must control the heat with great attention.
Let us classify the vocabulary from this process. Dao and spatula are tools or implements. Clay, dough, bamboo, and hay are materials or raw materials. Pounding, rotating, shaping, drying, and firing describe processes. This classification is useful because the textbook asks learners to separate tools, raw materials, and processes.
Here is a recall challenge. Which item belongs under tools, clay, dough, or pounding? The answer is dough. Which belongs under raw materials, spatula, dough, or shaping? The answer is dough. Which describes a process, bamboo, basket, or rotating? The answer is rotating. These small checks help you retrieve the answer instead of merely recognizing it on the page.
The description of the process also creates an image of patient craftsmanship. A shapeless lump gradually becomes a pot through hand movement, rhythm, and repeated attention. The tap of the spatula is almost musical to Centilla. This is not only a technical description, it reveals why she feels drawn towards the vocation.
Students sometimes think the chapter presents pottery as easy because Centilla eventually becomes skilled. That is a misconception. The text repeatedly stresses distance, weight, pounding, exhaustion, time, drying, and the danger of incorrect firing. Scintilla's achievement becomes meaningful precisely because the craft is demanding and because she has to overcome both technical and emotional obstacles.
Arenla knows about Scintilla's visits but pretends to be ignorant. Scintilla must return home by late afternoon so that she is present when her mother returns from the fields. This detail increases the tension, but it also shows that Arenla is not completely unaware of her daughter's desire. The silence between them reflects a difficult family relationship rather than a simple lack of affection.
Gradually, the visits become village gossip. People are concerned because if pot makers refuse to teach the next generation, there may be no expert potters to replace them. This moves the issue from a private family matter to a community matter. The craft serves people's needs, but it also represents their tradition and history.
The village council summons Masoba and asks why Arenla is refusing to pass on the skill. Masoba responds humbly. He says that Arenla has never declared that she will not teach Scintilla and explains that they wanted Scintilla to grow stronger after her illness. He also confidently says that she will soon make the best pots in the village.
The elders allow Mesoba to leave, but they give a clear caution. Arella must be reminded that teaching the skill is her duty because it has been handed down through generations. They say that such skills do not belong to one individual. Experts should pass them on not only to their own children, but also to anyone who wishes to learn.
This statement is one of the chapter's most important ideas. Tradition is not presented as private property. It is a shared inheritance that connects present people with earlier generations. The elders understand that a craft can disappear if knowledge is not transferred. In answer, connect tradition with continuity, community identity, history, and responsibility.
Would the council's position mean that Arella's pain is unimportant? Not at all. Her objections remain understandable because she has experienced the exhausting labor and low returns herself. The chapter holds both ideas together. Individual suffering must be recognized, but valuable community knowledge must not vanish. That balance makes the conflict more thoughtful than a simple argument between right and wrong.
After Mesoba speaks with Tarinla, the following year she takes Scintilla to the riverbank. She teaches her how to dig the clay with a dhow, carry it in a basket, soak it in the trough, and place the correct proportion into the bamboo cylinder. Scintilla learns the preparation quickly and turns the clay into malleable dough.
एक सेकंड पॉज करके सोचो. What has changed after the council's intervention? Arella has begun to teach Scintilla, at least the preparation stage. But the emotional distance has not disappeared. The council can insist that a skill be passed on. Yet, effective teaching also requires patience, encouragement, and communication. That distinction becomes visible in the next section.
When Scintilla tries to shape the lump into a pot, she cannot even hold the dough properly. Arenla sits in a corner and watches her try again and again. When Scintilla lowers her head in shame and frustration, Arenla takes over and transforms the lump into a beautiful pot. The contrast is striking. Arenla has skill, but Scintilla is not receiving the active guidance she needs.
The sessions continue for almost a year. Yet, Scintilla is unable to learn anything from her mother. This does not mean Scintilla lacks intelligence or effort. The text has already called her a quick learner during clay preparation. Her difficulty comes during shaping, where demonstration without explanation and emotional pressure do not help her develop confidence.
How does Scintilla feel during this period? The text gives us shame and frustration through the image of her hanging her head. We can also understand her disappointment because she has worked for almost a year without press. Yet she does not abandon the dream. Her continued effort is an example of perseverance, which means continuing despite difficulty.
Let me test that idea. If a question asks why Scintilla fails even after a year with Arilla, should you write that she is careless? No. That would contradict the text. A better response would explain that she is tense, receives little effective instruction in shaping, and lacks confidence. Always use the character's actions and feelings as evidence for your interpretation.
There is also a useful difference between knowing a procedure and mastering a skill. Scintilla learns how to prepare the clay, but shaping requires coordinated hand movements and a sense of rhythm. This is why she can turn clay into dough, yet cannot immediately form a pot. The chapter presents skill as embodied knowledge, something learned through careful practice and guidance.
The next year, Scintilla stays for some nights in a girls' dormitory. It is supervised by Onula, a kind, middle aged widow whom the girls call Auntie. Onula has heard about the discord in Scintilla's family and decides to help her. Her role begins quietly, through observation rather than public intervention.
One evening, everyone except Scintilla attends a musical evening. Onula sees Scintilla quietly taking clay and implements from her basket. She watches the girl's clumsy efforts and notices that Scintilla is too tense. The narration suggests that the clay seems unable or unwilling to yield the right shape. This is a powerful way of showing how fear and pressure can affect performance.
When the misshapen lump falls flat, Scintilla is tired and discouraged. Onula does not criticize her. She says that she will teach her how to make a perfect pot, then demonstrates the process. Her first response is reassurance. This matters because confidence becomes the condition that allows Scintilla to use the skill she has been observing for so long.
Scintilla tries again by following Onula's instructions and creates a beautiful pot. However, Onula immediately notices that the mouth of the pot is wrong. This is not discouragement. It is precise feedback. Onula tells Scintilla to observe Arenla carefully when she shapes the mouth. She recognizes that Scintilla is a quick learner and encourages her to continue.
What makes Onula an effective mentor? She observes the real difficulty, reduces Scintilla's tension, demonstrates the skill, allows Scintilla to try, identifies one specific correction, and gives hope. She does not complete the work permanently on Scintilla's behalf. That is why her support leads to learning rather than dependence.
During the next session with Arenla, Scintilla observes the exact movement of her mother's left hand and spatula. She notices that Arenla slackens the rhythm while shaping the mouth. She also sees that a strip of elongated dough is added to form the rim. This small detail completes the technical knowledge that Scintilla had been missing.
So Onula does not replace Arenla as the source of all knowledge. Instead, she helps Scintilla look more carefully at what her mother is already doing. That is an important distinction. Learning comes from observation, explanation, practice, correction, and confidence working together. Students can apply the same method while revising difficult concepts.
We have now covered the first major arc, Scintilla's dream, Arenla's concerns, the craft itself, the community's expectations, and Onula's support. If you are revising with Etsy, this is a good point to test yourself with an active recall question. Explain in your own words why Onula's teaching succeeds where Scintilla's here with Arenla does not.
Now we enter the final and most emotional section. On a bright sunny day, Erenla wants them to make as many pots as possible because they need enough sunshine for drying. She completes a batch quickly and asks Scintilla to take over. Arenla complains of a headache and backache, then leaves Scintilla to continue the work.
Scintilla begins reluctantly, beating the dough in perfect coordination with her left hand. Soon, she realizes the pot is ready. She starts another one, and then another. Like a sprinter who has found momentum, she works with the same speed and dexterity that she has observed in Arenla's hands. Observation, practice, guidance, and confidence have finally come together.
When Scintilla looks at her row, she sees that she has made just one pot fewer than her mother. This detail is important because the comparison is concrete. It shows that her skill has reached an impressive level, but it does not claim that she has completely surpassed Arenla. The scene communicates sudden achievement without exaggerating it.
Exhausted, Scintilla goes towards the house to join her mother for lunch. At the threshold, she finds Arenla lying on the floor and not breathing. Scintilla runs to the village common area for help. The villagers come, and Nasuba is sent for. The sudden death changes the meaning of Scintilla's achievement from a simple success into a moment of grief and responsibility.
As Aranla's body is carried out the next morning, Scintilla cries that she did not wish it to happen this way and that it simply came to her. What does she mean? She is not claiming that the skill came without effort. She means that during that crucial session, the movements and knowledge suddenly came together naturally. Her words also express guilt and a wish for her mother's forgiveness.
Only Onula understands the significance of Scintilla's words. On her way back, she notices that the shed door is slightly open. Inside, she sees two neat rows of newly made pots side by side. She cannot find anything to distinguish one batch from the other. She understands that the two rows are the work of two people and that Scintilla has reached her mother's level of craftsmanship.
Onula stands for a long time as if absorbing a new phenomenon. The words, profound revelation suggest a powerful moment of realization. She sees more than two rows of moist pots. She sees the continuation of a tradition, the emergence of a new expert, and the transformation of Scintilla. The work shed becomes a place where personal grief and cultural continuity meet.
The concluding line is short. A new pot maker was born. Its significance is much larger than its length. It announces Scintilla's achievement, marks her entry into the vocation, and symbolizes the survival of a community skill. It also suggests a new beginning after Arenla's death. Scintilla carries forward her mother's knowledge while forging her own path.
Let us identify the main theme of perseverance. Scintilla faces resistance, secrecy, failure, shame, and a year of unsuccessful learning. Still, she keeps returning to the craft. Her perseverance is not blind stubbornness. She observes, practices, accepts correction, and continues after failure. That combination is why her dream eventually becomes a skill.
A second theme is the relationship between passion and practicality. Scintilla values the craft because it fascinates her and connects her with her family. Arena evaluates it through labor and income. The chapter does not make practical concerns foolish. Instead, it asks whether economic difficulty should lead a community to abandon a meaningful traditional skill. The answer emerges through the elders' concern and Scintilla's success.
A third theme is the importance of mentorship. Arella possesses expertise, but her method does not help Scintilla shape the pots. Onula's kindness and precise guidance unlock the learner's confidence. This does not reduce Arella's importance. In fact, Scintilla's careful observation of Arella's hands remains essential. The story shows that expertise must be combined with patient teaching if it is to be transferred successfully.
For character understanding, Scintilla can be described as passionate, observant, determined, sensitive, and capable of learning. Arya is hardworking, experienced, practical, and burdened by the difficult economics of pottery. Misoba is humble and supportive in the council scene. Onula is kind, thoughtful, observant, generous, and effective mentor. Do not write only a list and a character answer. Connect each quality with an event.
Here is a common mistake. Some students call Arenla selfish because she initially refuses to teach Scintilla. That is too harsh and incomplete. Arenla's refusal comes from her own exhaustion, the long distance to the clay, the low returns, and her belief that weaving will provide more security. You may still discuss the harmful effect of her teaching method, but represent her reasons fairly.
Let us revise key vocabulary. Outgrow means to lose interest in something as one grows older. Indifference means lack of interest. A pittance is a small amount of money received as income. Pounding means repeated beating. Tedious means tiring. Deftly means skillfully. A spatula is a tool used by a potter to shape a pot. These meanings should be understood through the chapter situation.
More useful words include tend, meaning take care of, and followed suit, meaning did the same thing as someone else. Malleable means able to be put into shape without breaking or cracking. Worldly means tiredly. Slackened means relaxed or reduced in force. Momentum is a driving force. Dexterity is skill. Tally is a count. Threshold is an entrance. Intuitively means based on feelings. And momentous means of great significance.
The chapter also groups words connected with livelihood and economic matters, pittance, rupees, reward, and return. The activity extends this vocabulary through words such as bankrupt, credit, currency, debt, fiscal, inflation, investment, and interest. When forming sentences with these words, use their economic meaning and do not confuse interest as curiosity with interest paid on money.
Now the grammar. A noun clause acts like a noun and can perform the function of a subject or object. In the sentence, she realized that the pot was ready. The clause that the pot was ready acts as the object of realized. Similarly, Onula sensed that something momentous had happened. The clause tells us what she sensed.
A useful test for a noun clause is to ask what, why, or whether after the main verb. The elders emphasized that the skill should be passed on. Mesoba explained why Arenla had not taught Santila earlier. Onula's promise was that she would teach Santila. In each case, the subordinate clause completes the meaning of the main clause.
Relative clauses, also called adjectival clauses, describe a noun. In Arena took Centilla to the riverbank where the clay was found. The clause beginning with where describes the riverbank. In a sprinter who had suddenly found momentum. The clause beginning with who describes the sprinter. Words such as who, which, whose, where, and that can introduce these clauses.
Determiners come before nouns and specify quantity, definiteness, or ownership. The text uses articles such as a, an, and the, demonstratives such as this and that, possessives such as her and their, numerals such as one and two, and words such as some, many, few, each, and every. In a grammar question, first identify the noun and then select a determiner that fits meaning and number.
Let us practice the event sequence. Centilla first becomes passionate about pottery but does not share it with her mother. She overhears Arenla's complaints, observes expert potters, and then the village council questions Mesoba. Arenla teaches her for a year, but Centilla remains unsuccessful. Onula guides her. Finally, Centilla makes pots almost as quickly as Arenla, and Onula discovers the two rows.
For the question describing the pot making process, use a clear chronological answer. Begin with collecting grey and red clay from the riverbank. Mention digging, carrying, soaking, and pounding. Then explain the coordinated use of the left hand and spatula, the final touch-up, sun drying, the arrangement on hay and bamboo, and careful firing in the kiln. End by mentioning that overfiring or underfiring can ruin the batch.
For an extract question about Arenla's speech, remember 3 points. Pot making is physically exhausting and takes a long time. The financial return is small. Weaving appears easier, cleaner, quicker, and more profitable to Arela. The question mark in and the reward expresses disappointment and draws attention to the poor return after so much labor. Also, handsome profit means substantial profit in that context.
For a reflective answer on passion and profession, follow a simple structure. Introduce a skill or passion. Describe the practice used to develop it. Explain how it might become a profession. Give a relevant example and reflect on personal growth. Then conclude with what the experience teaches you. Keep the response connected to the prompt and use complete, organized paragraphs.
Let us close with the essential picture. Centilla dreams of pot making, while Arenla prefers weaving because pottery is exhausting and poorly paid. Centilla observes expert potters, struggles during a year of training, and gains confidence through Onula's patient guidance. The village reminds the family that traditional skills must be passed on. Centilla's successful row of pots, Arenla's death, and Onula's discovery lead to the final message. A new pot maker was born. Do not make the common mistake of calling Arella simply selfish. explained her practical reasons as well. Your challenge is to write the story's event sequence and 100-word answer on the significance of the final line without looking at the text. Then check your answer with Etsy as your personal AI tutor and correct any missing reason or keyword. You have understood the chapter by following its ideas, not by memorizing blindly. Revise calmly, trust your reasoning, and we will meet in the next episode.